Hey friends, welcome to my no-sew dragon pattern tutorial. I am so excited to film this video for you guys. This has been so highly requested. Like the name suggests, this dragon is completely no-sew. I honestly love making dragons, but I hate all of the sewing that goes into it, the four legs, the horns, the ears, etc. But with this design, there is no sewing required, which makes it really awesome for market prep, or if you're just looking for a quick and easy project, this pattern is for you. And before we jump into the pattern, I just wanted to do some quick housekeeping. So you can totally sell your finished dragon plushie, the physical product, but I just ask that you credit me as the designer. And with that being said, please, please, please do not copy, resell, or redistribute this pattern in any way. Truly so much work went into making this pattern, and if you prefer a written version, I do have that for sale on my Etsy and my website. I'll have it linked down below. If you feel like this tutorial is going too fast or too slow at any time, you can adjust the speed on your YouTube player, so feel free to play around with that, and hopefully that will help you go the speed that you would like. And then lastly, I will not cover in depth how to do a lot of these different stitches, so if you want a separate tutorial on how to do like a bobble stitch or half double crochet, feel free to go off on YouTube and find a tutorial for that. There's so many great tutorials out there, but for this tutorial specifically, I will just be walking you guys through step by step how to make my own no-sew dragon pattern. Okay, I think that covers housekeeping, and I totally lied to you guys. Before we jump into the tutorial, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Book of the Month. So one of my personal goals for this year was to fall back in love with reading, and Book of the Month has definitely helped me with that. If you don't know what they are basically a book subscription service where they curate a short list of the best new fiction books out there. And actually, every book is personally vetted and hand-selected by the Book of the Month editorial team. I always struggle with finding a new book to read just because I get overwhelmed by all of the different options out there, so I love that Book of the Month takes all of the hard work out of finding your next read. It's sad to admit, but I have not read for fun in so long just because I've been so busy, so it has really been amazing to get back into it. So I got 2 books this month. The first book is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, and it has been so good so far. I've been wanting to explore more of the fantasy genre, so this title really stuck out to me. Also, how stunning is the hardcover. I love that they send hardcover copies, and there's just something special about physically holding a book and reading it. And then for my second book, of course I had to go with romance. I got The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O'Clover. I'm super excited about this one. And what's awesome about Book of the Month is that you can skip any month for free if the selections aren't really catching your eye. I personally love having that flexibility and that freedom, and it's been such a treat to get back into reading, especially when I need a break from crochet. And Book of the Month actually has a limited offer for September. If you click the link down below in my description box and use my code JACKET, you will get your first book for just $5 and a free hat of your choice. This is the hat that I picked out, and how cute is this denim? Thank you so much again to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video, and with that, let's get into the tutorial. So jumping into supplies, I am personally making the regular size version of this dragon. You can make a jumbo version if you size your hook up to a 9mm and use size 7 yarn, but for this tutorial, I am just doing the regular size, so all of the materials will be for the regular size dragon. So you will need 3 different colors. You first will want a skein of your main body color for your dragon. This has 100 grams in it, and it's roughly 120 meters. This will be more than enough for the main body portion. You'll next need at least 1/2 skein of an accent color. This will go inside your wings and also for the spikes. I personally have a full skein on hand, but you really only need 50 grams or less. And then lastly, you will need a third color. I am using white. This will be specifically for the horns of your dragon. Feel free to use whatever color you want, but you need very little of this yarn. I'd say at least a 1/4 skein or less. So if you have at least 25 grams, you should be good. And as you can see, I am using Premier Parfait Chunky for my dragon. This is a size 6 yarn, and it is also considered like a chenille yarn, but feel free to use whatever yarn that you'd like. This pattern will work up the same regardless of the yarn that you use. In terms of hook size, I am using a 5mm hook. I recommend using a 5mm if you are also making a regular size dragon and you're also using a size 6 yarn. You will also need some of the other basic materials such as stitch markers, scissors, and a darning needle. This is just to weave in any extra ends. And lastly, for eyes, I am using 12mm safety eyes, just plain regular black safety eyes, but feel free to use whatever eyes that you'd like. I find that 12mm is perfect for the regular size dragon. And lastly, you will need polyfill / stuffing to stuff your dragon. So in this pattern, we will be using the following stitches and abbreviations: round, magic ring, increase, decrease, single crochet, stitch, half double crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, yarn over, triple bobble stitch, and bobble stitch. All right, let's jump into the tutorial. Alright, to begin, we will first be making the 4 legs of our dragon since we will be crocheting these legs directly into the body later on. So to begin round 1 of the leg, simply make a magic ring and put 6 single crochet into that magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I'm going to grab a stitch marker and I will mark off the last stitch so we can keep track of each round. And then go ahead and just pull your magic ring tight and close it up. For round 2, we will be doing an increase into each stitch, so we will essentially be increasing a total of 6 times. So now for the first increase, I'm going to go into the first stitch. I'm going to do an increase. And I'm just going to repeat that into every stitch of this round. Alright, and that is the end of round 2. I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker at that last stitch. And this is what it'll be looking like. At the end of round 2, you should have 12 stitches around. Also at this point, feel free to go ahead and cut off that excess tail from the magic ring so it doesn't get in the way. For the next 4 rounds, so rounds 3 through 6, we will just be doing 12 single crochet around, and I will do round 3 with you on screen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is the end of round 3, and this is what your leg is looking like so far. At the end of round 3, you will have 12 stitches around, and go ahead and do round 4, 5, and 6 off screen, and I will meet you back here after you're done round 6. You are simply just repeating what we just did, 12 single crochet, and you should have 12 stitches at the end of each of those rounds. Alright, so I just got done round 6, and this is what your leg should be looking like so far. For the last round of the leg, round 7, we will be doing decreases 6 times total. So to begin, I like to do the invisible decrease, which is where you will go through the front loop only. So I'm going to do my first decrease by going into the front loop of the next 2 stitches. And that is our first decrease. So I'm going to continue this all the way around, and we will do it a total of 6 times. So that's 2. 3, 4, 5, and the last one, 6. So this is what the end of round 7 will look like. At the top here, you should have a small opening. Now before we go on, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some stuffing and go ahead and stuff your leg. I like to stuff my leg gently. Make sure not to overstuff it. And once you're happy with it, go ahead and put your hook back on to your loop. You can go ahead and remove your stitch marker at this point since we are done with the leg. The last step is to just press your leg in half like this, and we will now do 3 single crochet through both sides of the leg across the top to close it. So I'm just going to put my hook into the next stitch here, and I'm going to find the corresponding stitch on the other side of the leg, and that's going to be 1, and then I'm going to repeat that, 2, and then 1 more. 3, and that is what it should be looking like. You should have 3 single crochet on the top of your leg, and this completes the leg. I like to go ahead and grab my scissors and leave a short tail. You can choose to weave in your end or just leave it like this. This is what I like to do just because honestly I'm lazy, but that is the end of the leg portion. Now you'll want to repeat these same steps 3 more times, so you'll have a total of 4 legs. And I went ahead and did this off screen already, so here are my 4 legs. Once you're done making your 4 legs, meet me back here because we will now go into the wing portion. Alright, for the wings, we will be making 2 wings, and you want to make these after you make the legs because we will also be crocheting the wings directly into our dragon's body. So go ahead and grab your accent color. We will begin making the wings in the accent color. So to begin round 1 of the wing, we will be doing 6 single crochet into a magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go ahead and grab a stitch marker and put it in the last stitch and close up your magic ring. At the end of round 1, you should have 6 stitches around. For round 2, we will be doing an increase into each of the stitches, so we will be increasing a total of 6 times. So in that first stitch, I'm going to do my first increase. And then increase again. And keep going all the way around. Alright, and this is what the end of round 2 will look like. You should have 12 stitches around, and then go ahead and feel free to cut off that extra tail from our magic ring so it doesn't get in the way. I'm gonna lower my camera a bit. So for round 3, we will be doing 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat that sequence a total of 6 times. So to begin, I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to do an increase into the next stitch. And that is the sequence. I'm going to repeat that 5 more times. 1 single crochet, increase, 1 single crochet, increase. So this is what the end of round 3 will look like, and you should have 18 stitches around. So for round 4, we are going to do 2 single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat that a total of 6 times. So 1, 2, and then increase. I'm going to repeat that again. 1, 2, increase. And that is the end of round 4. You should have 24 stitches around at the end of round 4. For round 5, we are going to do 3 single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat that a total of 6 times. And it's important to note that on the last stitch of round 5, so on your last increase, we are going to color change to our main body color. So I'm going to color change back to blue, but don't worry, I will walk you through it. So to begin, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, increase. So that's our first sequence, and I'm going to repeat this 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, increase. And now 1, 2, 3, and now since I'm on my last increase, I'm going to go ahead and do the first portion of the increase, but remember for the last portion of the increase, we want a color change. So I'm going to do my first increase stitch, and now for the second, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go get the main body color. So that is this light blue color, and I'm going to go ahead and weave that through my remaining loops to complete the increase. And I'm gonna go ahead and tie my 2 colors together so they stay. And at this point, feel free to cut your tail short of your new body color, and then also cut off your yellow. And at this point, we are done with the main portion of the wing, so go ahead and take your stitch marker off. So this is what the end of round 5 will look like, and you should have 30 stitches around. So now we're going to finish up the wing by closing it shut and creating the little ruffle portion. So you want to fold your wing in half like this to form a semicircle. It kind of looks like a taco. And now going forward, we are going to be crocheting into both sides of our wing, and this will essentially close the wing. So once you have your wing folded in half, we are first going to do a half double crochet into the first stitch of both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and yarn over to prepare for that half double crochet, and then I'm going to put my hook through that first stitch here on this side of the wing, and I'm also going to put it through the corresponding stitch on the other side of the wing. So just like that. So it should look like this, and then when you're ready, I'm just going to complete that half double crochet and pull my yarn through both sides and complete it. And it might be a little snug, but go ahead and just like maneuver around it, and that is what the first half double crochet looks like. Now in the next stitch, again working on both sides of the wing, we're going to do a double crochet. So I'm going to put my hook under that next stitch and the corresponding stitch on the other side, and I'm going to complete that double crochet. Now working again into the next stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet again, and again make sure you're working through both sides of the wing. So here's the half double crochet, and this is what it should be looking like so far. And next I'm going to do a slip stitch. So again, put my hook under both of the stitches, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So that is the first part of the sequence, where basically we're going to repeat that all the way down the wing. So I'm going to do that 2 more times, and you should do it a total of 3 times. So let me do half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet, and half double crochet, and slip stitch. So that's the second sequence, and let me do it one more time. Half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, slip stitch. Perfect. So this is what it should be looking like after you do that sequence 3 times. And now you should have 2 remaining stitches, and go ahead and just single crochet through those remaining stitches. So I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do 2, and that will bring you to the edge of your wing. And this is what the wing will look like once you complete that. It basically creates this little ruffle edge, and this is what it looks like on the bottom side. This is the top side. And now go ahead and leave a fairly long tail, and go ahead and cut off that yarn. You can go ahead and slide your hook through. And now go grab a needle, and we are now going to make a little V portion of the wing. And this is just to make the wing look a little bit more wing-like. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread my yarn tail, and I'm gonna poke it through the edge of the wing like this, and I'm gonna bring the yarn through the magic ring that we made in round 1. So just like that, poking my yarn tail through the magic ring, and I'm going to pull it through. Perfect. So now your yarn tail should be directly through your magic ring. So next you're going to take your needle, and I like to put the first strand of the V between these 2 ridges. So this is the rightmost ridge, and this is the leftmost ridge. I'm going to put it in between the rightmost and the second rightmost. So you want to take your needle, and I like finding this stitch here, which is the slip stitch that we made. And I'm going to poke my needle through, and I'm going to put it inside of the wing. I'm going to bring it back to the magic ring here. So we're essentially just going to make a little loop. And let me find that magic ring. I'm going to poke it through just like that. Perfect. And as you can see, my needle is inside of the wing. And once you do that, go ahead and pull your yarn through, and this will essentially make that first little strand of the V. And just like that, you can pull it tight, and it should look like this. And now we're going to repeat the same thing, but on this side. And just like we did with this side, I'm going to bring my yarn needle over here, right where we slip stitched. I'm going to put it through the inside of the wing and meet it back up by the magic ring circle, and go ahead and pull it through, and that will create your second V. And pull it tight, and there you go. that will create the little V formation on your wing, and this is what it should look like when you're all done. And then when you want to hide this tail, go ahead and just weave it into your wing like that, and you can just cut off the excess tail after you're done weaving in that end. I like to weave it in up top here to make sure it's secure, and when you're done, go ahead and cut off your excess tail and poke your yarn tail through just like that. And that is how you do the wing. And now you'll want to repeat all of this one more time. So at the end, you will have 2 wings. So now when you're at this point, you'll have the 2 wings and you will have the 4 legs. We can finally get going and start on our head/body portion of our dragon. Alright, to begin the head/body of your dragon, for round 1, we are going to do 6 single crochet into a magic ring. Also, make sure you are using your main body color. It should be the same color as your legs. And go ahead and do 6 single crochet into a magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then go ahead and grab a stitch marker and mark off that last stitch and close up your magic ring. So at the end of round 1, you should have 6 stitches around. For round 2, we are going to do an increase into each stitch. So we'll do a total of 6 increases. So in that first stitch, I'm going to do 1 increase. In the next stitch, another increase. And so on and so forth. This is 3. Alright, so this is what the end of round 2 will look like. You should have 12 stitches around. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off this excess tail from our magic ring. Alright, for round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat that a total of 6 times. So 1 single crochet followed by an increase. Perfect, and I'm going to repeat that 5 more times. 1 single crochet, oops, followed by an increase. So that's 2. 1 single crochet, followed by an increase. That's 3. So at the end of round 3, it should look like this, and you will have 18 stitches around. Alright, in round 4, we will be creating the nostrils of our dragon using bobble stitches. So to begin, we are going to do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now in the next stitch, we are going to do a bobble stitch. So how you do a bobble stitch, you're going to yarn over and then put your hook into that next stitch, bring up a loop, and we're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. So that is the first sequence of the bobble. I'm going to repeat this 3 more times, so we will have a total of 5 loops on our hook. So I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through a loop, pull through the first 2 loops. Now we have 4, and one more time, I'm gonna yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the first 2 loops, and now we should have 5 loops on our hook, and you would have done that whole sequence a total of 4 times. And now when you get to this point where you have 5 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over once more and pull through all 5 of those loops. Bang! And this essentially is our bobble. So then be careful because sometimes the next stitch gets hidden since you have a lot going on in this stitch. So in the next stitch, you want to do 1 single crochet. And when I complete that next stitch, that's when you really see the bobble come to life. But you see, you might have to use your fingers and pop it out to the front. And there you go. This is what it should be looking like. And now after that 1 single crochet, I'm going to do 2 more. 1, 2. So you will essentially have 3 single crochet between each bobble. So now in this next stitch, I'm going to do a bobble. So yarn over, go under that stitch, pull up a loop, go through the first 2, and just repeat this until you have 5 loops on your hook. All right, there we go. So now I have 5. I'm going to complete the bobble. And now to finish out this round, you should do 8 single crochet. And again, careful not to miss this next stitch. Sometimes it's hidden. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 and go ahead and pop out your bobble. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. That is the end of round 4, and this is what your dragon head should be looking like. Look at these cute little nostrils that we formed with the bobble stitches. Super, super cute. It's very important that you push out the bobbles so they look like this, and that is essentially what forms your nostril. If you don't push out your bobble stitches, it will look a little wonky, so definitely make sure you press into that bobble stitch and pop it out. And at the end of round 4, you will have 18 stitches around. For round 5 and 6, so for the next 2 rounds, we are simply just going to do 18 single crochet around. So to begin round 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to the bobble stitch, careful to not go into the bobble stitch itself, but into that one singular stitch that you made. Remember when we pulled through all 5 loops, that essentially makes this top stitch of your bobble. So that was 5 single crochet. My 6th single crochet will be right here into that top stitch of the bobble. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 18. Perfect. This is the end of round 5. And now go ahead and do round 6 off screen. I'll meet you back here at the end of round 6. But again, you are just doing 18 single crochet around, and you should have 18 stitches at the end. All right, I just got done round 6, and this is what your head should be looking like. It is definitely becoming more apparent that this is the snout of our dragon. So we're going to continue on. So for round 7, we are first going to do 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now in the next 4 stitches, we're going to do 3 half double crochet into each of those stitches. So I'll walk through it with you. So in this next stitch, I'm going to place 3 half double crochet. So here's my first one. I'm going to go again. Here's my second. And here is my third. So that is 1. And I'm going to repeat this 3 more times. So in the next stitch, I'm going to do half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet. Same thing in the next one. Half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, and now in the last stitch, the 4th one, half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet. So there you go. This is what it should be looking like. And then to finish out round 7, we are just going to do 7 single crochet. So this is my next stitch right here. Careful not to miss it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My cat is here. I have to go kick her off. All right, so this is what the end of round 7 will look like. You should have 26 stitches around, and that portion where we did the 3 half double crochets into 1 stitch, and we did that 4 times, this will essentially start forming like the top portion of your dragon's head, and as you can see, it curves upward, and the half double crochets should fall in between your 2 bobble stitches, but due to tension, you might have to adjust the placement of those 4 half double crochet clusters, and that's totally fine if you do need to make that adjustment, but I just wanted to give a heads up. All right, moving on. For round 8, we were just going to do 26 single crochet around. So 1, 2, 3, 25, and 26. Sorry if you see the camera moving, my cat will not leave me alone. I'm about to go kick her out. But this is what the end of round 8 should look like. You will have 26 stitches around, and your dragon's face should be rounding out. I feel like in round 7, sometimes with the 4 half double crochet clusters, it tends to make the face a little like wobbly and a little wavy, but in round 8, that should help smooth it out. Before we begin round 9, go ahead and grab your horn color. We will be needing that in round 9, so it's just nice to have that nearby. We will be creating both the horns and the ears in round 9. I will go slow because round 9 is quite involved. So to begin, we will do 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this next stitch, we are going to do a triple bobble stitch, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. It's very similar to the bobble stitch that we did here, but we're just using triple crochets. So I'm going to yarn over twice like I would for a regular triple, go under that next stitch, pull up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops like I would in a triple crochet. And I should have 2 loops remaining, and then I'm just going to repeat that again. Now I have 3. I'm going to repeat it again. Now I have 4, and I'm going to repeat it one more time because I want 5 loops on my hook, just like with this bobble. All right, perfect. Now I have the 5 loops on my hook, and then finally we can yarn over and pull through all 5. And that is essentially how you make a triple bobble. And be careful because our next stitch is right here and it's getting hidden by all of this. So in the next stitch, we are going to do a single crochet. And when you do that stitch, your triple bobble should become more apparent. There you go, perfect. And as you can see, this is going to form your dragon's ear. And now in the next stitch, we are going to do another single crochet, but don't finish it. We will end up color changing to the horn color. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce my horn color. In my case, it is white. I'm going to fish it through. So now we completed that second single crochet. I'm going to tie this together so it's nice and secure. Okay, so this is what it should be looking like on the back end. Now, in the next stitch, we are just going to do a simple bobble stitch, but at the end of that bobble, we are going to color change back to our main body color. So don't finish that bobble completely, and I will walk through it with you guys. So in the next stitch right here, I'm gonna go ahead and do my bobble like normal. And now here I am where I have my 5 loops on my hook, and instead of finishing off and going through these 5 loops with my white yarn, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the body color yarn. I'm going to use that to finish off my bobble. Perfect. Now in the next stitch right here, again careful, it's getting hidden. I'm going to do a single crochet, and then go ahead and use your finger to pop out that bobble stitch in case it's hiding. And now I'm going to do 2 more single crochet. 1, 2. And now in this next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet as well. But to finish off that single crochet, I'm going to color change back to my horn color. So just like that, you should have 4 single crochet between the 2 horns. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to do a bobble stitch. And again, color change back to the main head color to finish out that bobble. 3. All right, perfect. I have 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to color change back to my head color, my main body color, pull it through to finish the bobble. And now in that next stitch, I'm going to single crochet, and then go ahead and pop out your bobble with your finger. So this is what it should be looking like so far. We got our 2 horns, very cute. And now after that first single crochet, I'm going to do another single crochet. So this is what it should be looking like. And now at this point, you can go ahead and cut off your horn color if it's getting in the way. And then what I like to do is I like to tie these two ends together to make sure it's extra secure. Perfect. In this next stitch, we are going to do our triple bobble again so we can make the other ear of our dragon. Alright, so now we have our 5 loops. I'm going to go ahead and finish off this triple bobble by going through all 5. And now in the next stitch right here, make sure you don't miss it, I'm going to do a single crochet. And just like that, we have the 2 triple bobbles and our 2 regular bobbles that make the horns, and these make the ears. And now after that single crochet, we are going to do 6 more, so a total of 7 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So that is the end of round 9, and this is what it should be looking like at the end. So cute, you guys. Look at your dragon's face. It is really coming together. I am so in love with how it is looking so far. This is what it should look like from the inside, and at the end of round 9, you will have 26 stitches around. All right, when you're ready, we're going to continue on to round 10. In round 10, we're going to start out with 10 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we are going to do a decrease. So again, I like to do the invisible decrease where I go through the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. So decrease, and then you're going to do 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to decrease again. So I'm going to do my invisible decrease. Whoop. And then you're going to finish out with 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and at the end of round 10, you will have 24 stitches around. This is what your dragon will be looking like. Perfect. In round 11, you are going to do 2 single crochet followed by a decrease, and we will repeat that a total of 6 times. Decrease. So at the end of round 11, you should have 18 stitches around. This is what our dragon's head is looking like. And right now, actually, we are going to pause and we are going to place our eyes. So go ahead and grab your 2 12mm safety eyes. And I like to place the eyes between round 6 and 7, around 5 stitches apart, and they should be aligned directly with the nostril. So let's place our first eye. If I count the magic ring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So between 6 and 7. So around right here, place the first eye, and it always takes a little bit of maneuvering. So I'm gonna place that eye, and I'm gonna do the same with this one. And then once you place the eyes, you can then play around with the exact placement. This actually looks pretty good. Actually, no, wait. All right, so for this dragon, I actually ended up placing my eye in between the half double crochets. And that's just because I guess with this tension, I haven't made it in a while, so maybe my tension slightly shifted, but I wanted to make sure the eyes were pretty symmetrical with the nostrils. So go ahead and, you know, adjust the placement as you see fit. But this is what I am going to go with, and go ahead and and secure your backings once you're happy with your eye placement. Cool, cool, cool. Here is Mr. Dragon. And then once you're good with your eyes, go ahead and grab some stuffing and we're gonna start stuffing the head. Make sure you really firmly stuff the nostril area and the snout so your dragon's head will keep its form. And then of course we will continue stuffing as we go. It's really important to stuff as you go to make sure your stuffing is even and that your dragon's body won't turn out too like lumpy and wonky. So really try to stuff continuously as you go. All right, now for round 12. Round 12, we are just going to do 1 single crochet followed by a decrease, and we'll repeat that 6 total times. So 1, decrease. And at the end of round 12, you should have 12 stitches around. So we are now starting to create the neck of our dragon. As you can see, the hole is getting smaller. I'm going to continue stuffing. All right, for the next 2 rounds, so round 13 and 14, we are just going to do 12 single crochet around. So you should have 12 stitches at the end of each of those rounds. So to do round 13 together, 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. So this is the end of round 13. I'm gonna do round 14 off camera and I will meet you back here. But again, you're just doing 12 single crochet and you should have 12 stitches at the end of round 14. All right, so I just got done round 14. This is what our dragon's looking like so far. Now for round 15 and going forward, we are going to start incorporating spikes into our dragon's back. So go ahead and grab your accent color / your wing color because that should be the same color as your spikes. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab yellow. So to begin round 15, you're gonna start and do 7 single crochet, but on that 7th single crochet, don't finish it because we will be color changing to our spike color. So to begin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now I'm going to stop here and not complete it. I'm going to then take my spike color, I'm going to introduce it to finish out that 7th single crochet, and I'm going to tie it off real quick. Perfect. And now in this next stitch, I'm going to do a bobble, but do not finish that bobble with the yellow. You're going to color change back to your main body color. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here we go. I have my 5 loops on my hook and I'm going to color change back to my body color to finish off that bobble. And then in the next stitch right here, do a single crochet. And then go ahead and pop out your bobble. And then I'm going to finish out by doing 3 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3. And I recommend keeping your accent color / spike color attached because we will be color changing back to it quite frequently in the next few rounds. But this is what the end of round 15 will look like. You should have 12 stitches around. And the way the pattern is written, the bobble stitch should end up right on the center of your dragon's back. It should be in the center of your 2 front horns, but due to tension, you might have to switch the placement of this bobble. Go ahead and adjust where you place it, but just make sure that it is in the center of your dragon's face. I'm gonna pause here and go stuff. Remember to keep stuffing as you go. And I do like to make my dragon pretty firmly stuffed, especially the neck portion, because I feel like the necks always tend to be like floppy, so you really want to pack the stuffing in there. Cool, and this is what our dragon's looking like so far. For round 16 and round 17, you are just going to do 12 single crochet around. So for the next 2 rounds, I'm going to go ahead and do round 16 together with you, and then we can do round 17 by ourselves. So 1, 2, 3. Again, when you go into the bobble, make sure it's that top stitch. 8, So that is what the end of round 16 looks like. Again, you'll have 12 stitches of round. I'm gonna go ahead and do round 17 off screen, but just repeat what we just did, and I'll meet you back here for round 18. All right, so I just got done round 17. This is what our body is looking like. Now, proceeding on to round 18, we are going to make a spike in this round, so make sure you still have your spike color attached. And to begin, we are just going to do 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then on that 8th single crochet, sorry I forgot to mention, but don't complete it because we will be color changing to our spike color. And then in the next stitch, we are just going to do a bobble stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, do not finish that bobble. We are going to finish it off with our main body color. And then in the next stitch, we're going to single crochet, pop your bobble out, and then to finish out the round, we'll do 2 single crochet. Perfect. So that is the end of round 18. So this is what the end of round 18 should be looking like. You'll have 12 stitches around, and as you can see, we'll have 2 spikes on the back of our dragon, and our neck is really starting to take form. For round 19, we are going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and we are going to repeat that a total of 6 times. So again, 1 single crochet, increase, 1 single crochet, increase. So at the end of round 19, you should have 18 stitches around. We are slowly now going to create our body. So we're going to start increasing. For round 20, I'm going to do 2 single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat that a total of 6 times. So that's our first one. 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, so this is what the end of round 20 will look like. You will have 24 stitches around, and as you can see, our body is slowly getting bigger. So now for round 21, go ahead and grab your 2 legs because we will be crocheting them directly in. So once you're ready, go ahead and we will begin round 21 by taking our first leg, and we are going to align the 3 single crochet that we made at the top of our first leg. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Right here, we're going to align these with the next 3 stitches of our body because we will be crocheting them directly together. So like you can see here, I have my first stitch of the leg here, first stitch of the body there, second stitch of the body, second stitch of the leg, third stitch of the body, third stitch of the leg. And you want to hold your leg against the body like this, where the leg is on the outside. You don't want to put it on inside because then your leg will end up on the inside of your dragon. But once you're ready, go ahead and take your hook and put it under that first stitch of the leg and put it under the corresponding first stitch of the body like this. So you'll put your hook under both of them and then single crochet as normal, and that will fully connect them. And I'm going to repeat that 2 more times with the next 2 stitches. So under the second stitch of the leg, under the second stitch of the body, single crochet, and then with the last one, same thing, single crochet. So there we go. The first leg is now attached, and as you can see, it'll look like this. It will be more on the side of your dragon, like so. And if you were like me and left your tail, just have it hanging on in the inside of your dragon. Next, we're going to do 6 single crochet onto the body only. So in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to grab our second leg, and we are going to do the same exact thing that we just did with the first one. I'm going to align the 3 stitches at the top of the second leg with the next 3 stitches of the body, and once you have them aligned, go ahead and put your hook under that first stitch of the leg, the next stitch of the body, and crochet through them. So that's 1. Repeat that again with the second stitches, 2, and now for the last stitch, and then make sure your tail is on the inside. 3. So this is what it should be looking like from the bottom of a dragon. You'll have your 2 legs attached, and this is what it'll look like from the top. And now we are going to do 5 single crochet on just the body. So in that next stitch, which is right here, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and on that 5th stitch, do not finish it because we are going to color change to our spike color to finish it out. And now in the next stitch, we are going to do a bobble stitch, and don't finish that bobble. We are going to finish out with the main body color. Alright, so I have my 5 loops. I'm gonna go ahead and take my main body color, finish out that bobble, and then in the next stitch right here, I'm going to single crochet. Make sure you pop out your bobble, and then lastly, I'm going to do the 5 single crochet remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and move your stitch marker. So at the end of round 21, this is what your dragon will look like from the top. You'll have 3 spikes now. This is what it'll look like from the bottom. You'll have your 2 legs connected, and at this point, you'll also have 24 stitches around. I like to now go ahead and take those ends from our legs, and I'm just going to tie them for extra security. Now I will say sometimes the dragon tends to want to like start curving, so if you find yourself with like your head sideways or something, just make sure you like stiffen it out and straighten it out yourself manually, and it should stay. Like I just had to reposition the neck of my own dragon because I found he was a little twisty, but now I was able to straighten him out by honestly just like pressing against the other side and kind of making it straight. And this is what it should be looking like so far, and it is looking so cute, you guys. So cute. All right, for round 22, we are going to do 3 single crochet followed by an increase, and we are going to repeat that 6 times. So here's my 3 single crochet, and I'm going to increase. I'm just going to do this 5 more times. 1, ooh, my hook keeps coming out. 1, 2, 3, increase, increase. Okay, perfect. This is the end of 22, and at the end of round 22 you should have 30 stitches around. Now for round 23, we are simply just doing 30 single crochet around. So 2, 3, perfect. So this is what the end of round 23 is looking like, and we are really just expanding our dragon's body. This is what it looks like from our sides. And now before round 24, let's go ahead and grab your wings because we will be crocheting the wings directly into the body next round. All right, to begin round 24, we'll first do 19 single crochet. 1, 2, 18, 19, and now we want to grab our first wing, and we're essentially going to crochet 2 single crochet through the wing and through the next 2 stitches of the body. And the way we want to orient our wing, we want the V portion of our wing to face forward towards the dragon's head. So it'll essentially look like this. We do not want it facing this way with the ruffly portion towards our dragon. We want the ruffly portion facing away from our dragon and the V portion facing towards our dragon's face. So if you remember back when we made the wing, you should have 2 single crochet at the tip of that wing. So once you have the wing orientation, all you want to do is then find the 2 stitches of the wing on the edge and put it against the body, and as you can see, the 2 stitches are aligned together, and I am just going to simply do 2 single crochet through both of those. So I'm going to put my hook under that first stitch of the wing and put it under the corresponding stitch of the body like this. I'm going to single crochet through both of them to attach it, And then I'm going to repeat that same thing with the next stitch of the wing and next stitch of the body, just like that. And there you go, our wing is officially attached to our dragon. And now we are going to do one more single crochet in the next stitch, but do not complete it since we will color change to our spike color. Then in the next stitch, we are going to do a bobble stitch. And again, don't finish out that bobble. We'll color change back to our main body color. All right, so I have my 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to complete the bobble by doing it with my body color. And then in that next stitch, I am going to single crochet and then go ahead and pop out your bobble. And now go ahead and grab your second wing. And again, we are going to attach it to our body by aligning the 2 stitches of the wing on the tip. And we are going to align it with the next 2 stitches of our body, and you want to make sure again that the ruffles are facing back, the V facing forward. So once you're good with all of that, go ahead and put your hook under that first stitch of the wing and the corresponding next stitch of the body like this. And I'm going to single crochet, and then same thing with the next stitch of the wing and next stitch of the body, single crochet, just like that. So our wings are officially attached to our dragon, and now we are going to finish it out by doing 4 single crochet on just the body. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So at the end of round 24, you will have 30 stitches around. You will have 4 spikes now on the back of your dragon, and your wings will officially be attached. Now, since we crocheted the wings in, they do have the tendency of kind of like flopping around like this. And honestly, I kind of like that since dragon wings always kind of flutter about. But if you prefer to have your wings more stable and like hold this position, then go ahead and use some extra yarn and tack them in place. But I am just going to leave them alone for the time being. And once more, I know that some people get confused with the orientation of the wing, but if you look at your dragon head on, you will want the V portion facing you, the tip of the V facing you, and the ruffly part of the wings will face the back of the dragon. Once you are good, let's move on to round 25. Round 25 will simply just be 30 single crochet around the body. So I'm just going to do that real quick. 29 and 30. So this is the end of round 25. You will have 30 stitches around, and this is what your dragon will be looking like so far. And again, at this point, your dragon's neck might want to twist around and it might look like it's like crooked, but just feel free to twist it back into place so it is fully straight with your arms and your wings. For round 26, we are going to do 3 single crochet followed by a decrease, and we will repeat that 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, decrease, 3, decrease. Perfect. At the end of round 26, you will have 24 stitches around. This is what our dragon's looking like. I'm gonna stop here and start stuffing more. There we go. Really make sure to stuff your neck really well. I know I said that, but just a friendly reminder. And cool. For round 27, we will begin by doing 18 single crochet. 1, 2, 16, 17, and on that 18th one, don't finish it because we will color change to the spike color. And then in the next stitch, we are going to do a bobble stitch, but don't finish with that color. We're going to color change back to our main body color once you're good with the bobble. So here is the bobble, and now since we have the 5 loops, I'm going to go ahead and finish it out by doing my main body color. And in the next stitch right here, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then go ahead and pop your bobble out, and then finish with 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is the end of round 27. Perfect. We added another spike to our dragon. This is what she's looking like so far. And at the end of round 27, you should have 24 stitches around. Now in rounds 28 and 29, so the next 2 rounds, we are simply just going to do 24 single crochet around. So let's do round 28 together. 1, 2, and 24. That is the end of round 28. Meet me back here at the end of 29, but you're essentially just doing the same thing. We are just doing 24 single crochet around. You will end up with 24 stitches around. All right, I just got done round 29. Now for round 30, we are going to begin with 19 single crochet, but on that 19th stitch, don't finish it out because we will be color changing. So 2, 3, and then on that 19th one, make sure you color change to finish it out. And then in the next stitch, we'll do a bobble and make sure to also not finish that bobble stitch, and we will color change back to our main body color. All right, I got my 5 loops on my hook, and then I'm gonna color change back to my main body color. In the next stitch right here, I'm going to single crochet. I'm gonna pop out my bobble, and then in the last 3 stitches, gonna do 3 single crochet. That is the end of round 30, and you should still have 24 stitches around. This is what our dragon is looking like. We have the spikes going down its back, and it is looking really cute. So now before we begin round 31, go ahead and grab your 2 legs because we will crochet them directly into our body, very similarly to how we crocheted the front legs into the body. So when you're ready, we are going to begin with round 31. We are going to do 1 single crochet. And now go ahead and grab your 3rd leg, and just like we did before, align the next 3 stitches of the leg with the next 3 stitches of the body. And when you are good with that, go ahead and single crochet through both the leg and the body by putting your hook through both stitches. So that's 1. Repeat it again, 2, and once more with the 3rd stitch, 3. So our 3rd leg is officially attached. And then in just the body, go ahead and do 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and grab your 4th leg, align it with the next 3 stitches of the body. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then when you're ready, go ahead and put your hook under that 1st stitch of the leg, corresponding stitch of the body, and single crochet. Same thing with the 2nd, and same thing with the 3rd. And there we go. Our legs are officially attached, all of them. And now working on the remaining portion of the body, we are going to just do 10 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and whoops, 10. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now at the end of round 31, you should have 24 stitches around. Your legs should now all be attached, and this is what the bottom of your dragon will look like. I'm going to quickly just tie these 2 strands together from my leg tails, and when we flip over the dragon, this is what it should be looking like from the top. From the sides, we have the legs, and they are looking really, really good. I'm gonna stop here and continue stuffing. We are almost there, you guys. We are so close to being done. Really, now we are just going to finish out the body and the tail, and you will be all done. No sewing, let's go. All right, for round 32, we are going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase, and we are going to repeat that a total of 8 times. This is a slight switch up because usually we've been repeating things 6 times, but we are going to repeat this 8 times. So 1, decrease, 2, decrease, 3, decrease, 4, decrease, 5, decrease, 6, decrease, 7, decrease, and 8. Decrease. At the end of round 32, you will have 16 stitches around, and we are slowly closing up our body and starting to make our tail. In round 33, this is the last round that we are using the spike color. Woohoo! That means the end of the color changing. So for round 33, we will begin by doing 13 single crochet, but on the 13th one, make sure to not complete it because we will be color changing. So right now that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, and now I'm going to color change to my spike color, do a bobble stitch in the next stitch, but do not finish it because we will be color changing it. And now once you have your 5 loops, I'm going to put my main color through, and now in the next stitch I am going to single crochet, go ahead and pop your bobble out, and then finish with 1 more single crochet, and then that is the end of round 33. You will have 16 stitches around still, and now go ahead and cut off that spike color. Thank goodness. I do not enjoy color changing, but sometimes you gotta do it. And go ahead and just tie off that remaining tail of the spike color so it's nice and secure. But this is what your dragon will be looking like. We are so close to being done, you guys. Now it's really just the home stretch. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff it a little more. Perfect, and now we can move on to round 34. For round 34, we are just doing 16 single crochet. 2, 3, 16. That is the end of round 34. You will have 16 stitches at the end. For round 35, we are going to do 6 single crochet followed by a decrease, and we will repeat that 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then decrease, and we'll repeat that one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, decrease, and at the end of round 35 you will have 14 stitches around. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff a little more. For round 36, I am just going to do 14 single crochet around. 2, 3, 14. At the end of round 36, you will only have 14 stitches around. For round 37, you're gonna do 5 single crochet followed by a decrease, and you will repeat that 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease, and you will have a total of 12 stitches at the end. And now for round 38, you will do 4 single crochet followed by a decrease, and that will be repeated 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. And at the end of round 38, you will have 10 stitches around. Go ahead and stuff if you haven't been stuffing. For round 39, you are just going to do 10 single crochet around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. At the end of round 39, you'll have 10 stitches around. For round 40, you will do 3 single crochet followed by a decrease and repeat that 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, decrease, and 1, 2, 3, decrease. And at the end of round 40, you will have 8 single crochet around. For the next 2 rounds, so round 41 and 42, you will just do 8 single crochet around. So round 41, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's round 41, and you'll have 8 stitches around. And let's repeat that again for round 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is the end of round 42. Again, you should have 8 stitches around, and I'm gonna go ahead and stuff more. We're so close to being done, you guys. Woohoo! Okay. For round 43, we are going to do 2 single crochet followed by a decrease, and we'll repeat that 2 times. So 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease. And at the end of round 43, you will have 6 stitches around. And now for the last 3 rounds, round 44 through 46, we're just going to do 6 single crochet around. So to begin round 44, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's round 44. I'm gonna stop and stuff for round 45. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now for the last round, round 46, we are doing the same thing. 6 single crochet, and you'll have 6 stitches at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Woohoo! We are done. When you are done with round 46, go ahead and leave a pretty long tail. Go ahead and cut off your yarn. Pull your hook through. And this is what it'll look like at the very end. You'll have 6 stitches remaining. And now go ahead and grab your yarn needle, and you're going to go ahead and thread that tail through. And now we are simply going to thread our needle through the front loops of the remaining 6 stitches, and this will help us create a cinched closure. So as you see, I'm just threading my yarn through the front loops of the remaining 6 stitches. And then once you have that done, gently pull to close those 6 stitches. And then go ahead and weave in your tail into the body. Just gonna randomly weave it in. And once you're good with that, go ahead and cut off your excess tail, and then go ahead and poke in that remaining tail into your plushie. And oh my goodness, you guys, the dragon is done. I love how she turned out. Look at her. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other camera view. And here is the finished dragon in all of its glory. I had to show you guys with the good camera because look how cute it is. Oh my goodness. I will say this dragon is a bestseller at markets. So many people have told me that these dragons sell out so quick. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys the finished product, all done, all pretty, and hopefully you found the tutorial helpful and easy to follow. I know it gets a bit crazy with the triple bobble stitches, the bobbles, all of the color changing, but hopefully you were able to follow it. Look at her, you guys. I absolutely love how it turned out, and I love this color combination. I use the same color combination in my book, and I'm just so obsessed with it. I also made a pixie dust version. I think that's what the yarn is called. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I used that yarn from Premiere, but that is the version that is basically on the listing photo. So yeah, I am clearly obsessed with this color scheme. I am so happy I finally sat down and filmed this tutorial for you guys because I know you guys have been asking for this and I've been seriously slacking, so hopefully this makes up for it. I hope you enjoyed watching and be sure to tag me on Instagram if you do go ahead and make this pattern. I would love to see all of your dragons, and hopefully there will be more tutorials where this one came from. I'm gonna really try my best to put out more tutorials for you guys because I know that is what you have been asking me for. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed, have fun crocheting, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!